Hey everyone, welcome back from break. We're glad that for all of you who have stuck with us throughout the first part of the summit, and we have a great afternoon or evening session as well. For those who are new, we're excited to have you join us, and we look forward to this next session. This part right now comes to us from our sponsor, Success Coaching. They've been our longtime friends and partners, and they are our bootcamp sponsor. And so we're excited to have Angelika O'Reilly, who will give us insights around a CSM competency model. Angelika, you there?
Hi there, yes. Good afternoon from Washington, D.C.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us today. We're looking forward to your boot camp, and we'll let you take it away.
Sounds great, Dave. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. I'm Angelika O'Reilly. I'm the head of customer success here at Success Coaching. For those of you who haven't heard of Success Coaching, we offer a world-class customer success education to CS professionals around the globe. We have an accredited curriculum that covers all facets of the customer lifecycle and teaches you how to effectively conduct the customer success management activities that are required at each stage of the customer's journey. So we have over 14,000 learners that have gone through our Success Coaching curriculum to level up their skill set, offer career pathing, career development, professional development in 66 countries, and we have certified over 9,000 CSMs. Hopefully many of you are certified as well. And we are excited to get started and to teach you about the customer success competency model today. So first, what is the competency model and what will it provide you? So we created a very comprehensive and well-defined set of standards and benchmarks that are available for understanding what a high-performing customer success professional capabilities should be at each stage of their career. So through an individual contributor to a senior individual contributor, all the way through leadership. So the customer success competency model we have created has 5 core disciplines, which are further broken down into 18 specific skills, which I will walk you through this afternoon. And using this model, it will give you a better understanding of what it takes to succeed in a post-sales, customer-facing support, as well as customer success roles. So the full model is available for download. It's 100% free, and it is 175 glorious pages, and it is available on our website at successcoaching.co, not com, but .co. And if you click on resources and select down to the customer success competency model at the bottom, you can download the 175-page PDF. So our objectives for today's bootcamp is to cover 3 main things. So first, we'll define what the customer success competency model is. Then 2, we'll outline how to use this competency model, both as an individual contributor, as a senior IC, and in a leadership role. And we'll identify what the benefits are of deploying the competency model internally. So first, what is it? I gave you a sneak peek, but it is the knowledge, skills, and abilities needed to perform our daily work activities. And it really differentiates a good CSM to a great CSM, or a good senior IC or a good leader to a great leader. So we built out the full skill set needed to advance in your career and to close skill gaps. So it's organized and formatted in a way that allows us to define the behaviors required for effective performance in any given role and in your position throughout your customer success journey. So let's see what it looks like live. So this is the cheese wheel, as we call it, and there are 5 core disciplines within the model. The first is emotional intelligence. The second is people and teamwork. The third is drive. The fourth is entrepreneurship and strategy. And the 5th and final one are the behaviors. So within these 5 core disciplines, there are 18 core skills that are folded in within each discipline. So that is the perimeter of the cheese wheel. And these are typically those core skills that a customer success manager and IC and leader need to possess in order to drive the internal goals at their organization, both internally within their team culture, but also in the customer-facing roles with hitting NRR goals. So together, these 5 disciplines and these 18 skills create one awesome cheese wheel or an amazing pizza, depending on what your favorite food group is. So the way that we created the competency model is across 3 different roles. So the first is the individual contributor role. This is the team that has less than 3 years of experience. It's typically your CSM, perhaps your implementation specialist or an account manager, and they're responsible for supporting CS initiatives and executing the playbooks and processes, and really operating at that tactical and transactional level within the portfolio. The second role that we created the competency for is the senior individual contributor role. So these are your very experienced generalists or specialists that have 4 to 6 years of experience. They're typically your senior CSMs, your senior account managers, or your customer success directors. And they're responsible for developing and leading implementation plans, creating success plans for strategic accounts, and really operationalizing the playbooks and processes and developing best practices for the CS team. And the third and final role that we created the competency model for are the leaders. So this is the most senior leadership role in your department. They typically have over 8 years of experience. It could also be the director of CS that's more tenured, or a VP of CS, chief customer officer. And these roles really help design the customer success strategy. The roles are establishing the team roles and responsibilities, setting performance standards, and hiring the right resources. So let's dive in. So we'll first take the first discipline, which is emotional intelligence. So what is emotional intelligence? It is the capacity to be aware of, control, and express one's emotions, and to handle the interpersonal relationships required when working for and with a diverse customer base. So within emotional intelligence, there are 5 EQ skills, otherwise known as soft skills. The first is empathy. The second is motivation. The third is self-awareness. The fourth is self-regulation, and the fifth are social skills. So this is how it appears in that cheese wheel, all 5 skills within that emotional intelligence discipline. So we will go ahead and we will take the first skill, empathy. So you'll see that the model is broken down into these 3 columns. So the individual contributor, the senior IC, and the leader. So in an IC level, that first column, and we'll take the second row, we expect in that IC role that you'll have the ability to take on another perspective during conversations and or negotiations. But as you move to a senior IC level, in that second column, you're now able to practice cognitive empathy, or understanding how another person feels and what they're thinking, also known as perspective taking. And as a leader, the skill that you've most likely mastered or are looking to master is how can you reward and praise the team members for their strengths and accomplishments. So what you can do is really look at a rubric and see, where am I as an IC or a senior IC or as a leader on these core skills? And am I achieving in the individual contributor 3 out of 4 of the levels? Am I achieving all 4? And then am I ready to be promoted to a senior IC? And if I'm a senior IC, looking at that leadership track of, I need to nail down providing stretch assignments that will help my team members develop their empathy, or leveraging diversity to create and develop opportunities through different kinds of people that can bring something new to the table. And you can essentially look at empathy and where you are now and where you have room to grow as you continue on in your careers. The second discipline are people and teamwork. So these are the abilities relating to working with and managing the relationships and communications with team members internally and within the customer organizations. So there's 5 people and teamwork skills. The first is open communication. The second are execution and management. The third is teamwork. And the last and final one are coaching and developing. So here's the visual on the cheese wheel. And we'll take the first skill, open communication. So what is it? We've talked about it with other speakers here today. It's environments where information is flowing freely and openly. It encourages effective expectation setting. And on the individual IC level, you can see if you've mastered or need to work on, am I communicating effectively to my audience? Am I making sure that the message has been received and understood? And on the senior IC level, am I listening to the ideas of others, or am I speaking up tactfully in disagreements with colleagues, customers, or others? And then in a leadership role and track, am I encouraging an open flow of ideas and opinions? Am I promoting a free flow of information and communicating thoroughly in my organization? So you can do a self-reflection again through a rubric to see in each of these skills and the definitions of it, how am I performing as a senior IC, or leader with these definitions? So what am I doing really well, and what can I do to improve? And am I prepared for the next stage in my career development? The third discipline are behaviors. So it's approaching peers, customers, and your work output with the right work ethic and open-mindedness to achieve results and to grow. And there are 3 behavioral skills. The first is continuous learning, which you are doing all today by joining us live with the CSM Summit. The second is maturity, and the third is trust. So here's, again, that visual on where that behavior discipline and those 3 skills are within the competency model. And we'll pick the first skill, trust. So we're defining what it is here, having open and honest conversations, both internally as well as with our customers, both in good times as well as during maybe contentious times. Why is it relevant? You want to become that trusted advisor so that your customers trust you over time, expand, renew, promote you, are serving as customer advocates. So on the individual contributor level, are you maintaining a high standard of personal integrity? Are you demonstrating a strong commitment to organizational success? Then on the senior individual contributor level, we advance and deepen the way that we communicate. Am I demonstrating exemplary behavior at all times with trust? Am I building trust with customers and colleagues and direct reports? And on the leadership level, am I building mutual respect, trust, and loyalty with both my team members that I manage, by treating them fairly, and by leading by example? And am I creating a trusting environment as a leader with empowering my directs, my individuals, as well as my teams? So for the leaders on the call, this is a great exercise to do with the directs that you manage or the frontline managers that you manage to see how are they scoring on all of these skills. And for the ICs and senior ICs on the call, also a good reflection to see how am I performing on these trust categories and where's there room to improve and what am I excelling at? So a good point of reflection. And the fourth discipline is entrepreneurship and strategy. So this is employing customer-oriented, innovative approaches to achieving desired outcomes, which we're big at Success Coaching, and possessing the mindset and sense required to understand and process business situations. So within entrepreneurship and strategy, there are 3 skills that are folded in. The first is business acumen. The second are strategy and direction. And the third is customer orientation. Sorry. So we'll take the first one, business acumen. So what does it mean? It's adopting a business perspective. It's understanding how the decisions that you're making are going to impact business metrics, and it's helping your customers achieve those outcomes. So we'll take the second column, the second row, and the individual contributor level, am I possessing enough subject matter expertise to be able to help customers adapt and adopt solutions to address their objectives? Then on the senior individual contributor, in that second row, am I taking a long-term strategic approach to finding solutions for the company and its customers? And on the leadership track, or in that role, am I displaying a thorough knowledge of the industry, its markets, customers, and competitive environment? And the ideal goal, again, is to master everything in the individual contributor role. And then that primes you for a senior IC role, mastering most of the things there, closing skill gaps, and then moving on to that leader and mastering that within the business acumen and all of the 18 skills. So you can rate yourself 1 to 5, 1 being weak, 5 being strong, and doing that self-awareness exercise. And also you could have peers provide their feedback, and naturally your manager at a one-on-one, at a 360 degree evaluation, or at your annual review. And the fifth and final discipline is drive. So it's having the ability and desire to achieve and own results, whether good or bad. So taking accountability. And the 3 drive skills are: first, decisiveness; second, adaptability; and third is accountability for results. So here's the visual on that pie chart, or pizza. And we'll pick the first skill, decisiveness. So what does it mean? It's making decisions in a timely manner where you have considerations, perspectives, you've done a thorough analysis. And why is it relevant? You're building confidence with internal stakeholders and customers, and you're being thoughtful and making a well-evaluated decision. So on the individual contributor level, we'll look at row 2. You're ensuring that all important facts have been considered before making a decision. In the senior IC role, you're guiding others to make logical and well thought out decisions. And as a leader, you're applying broad knowledge and experience to manage complex issues. So we've gone through the 5 disciplines, and we've gone through the 18 skills, high level. How do we execute on this? So how do we use this and leverage this competency model within our roles? So I'll first walk you through the 5 leadership use cases to use the CS competency model. The first is developing a curriculum development for training and enablement purposes. The second is helping the team know in what training should I be investing in. Should I be building out this curriculum, or should I make the investment and buy the curriculum to upskill my team and to help them close those skill gaps and to help them with their own individual career development plans? The third is writing job descriptions. So you can use these definitions across all of these 18 skills to understand and look at what is the ideal skill set for my CSM team and hiring best practices. So if you have team members that are really excelling in communication and trust, but you need to bring in a little different talent to help close other gaps that the team may have with business acumen, you know who to hire for the next role. And then recruiting and hiring, which I just left. So it's bringing the right set of talent at this stage in your company's journey, at this stage in your maturity life cycle. And the last is evaluating performance. So it helps gauge who's improving with the skill gaps they need to close, who needs to roll up their sleeves and maybe go through more robust training, and to see where is your talent currently and where do they need to be at. For the individual contributor, there are 3 use cases for the competency model. The first is career direction and focus. So what are specific areas that you need to emphasize that you're doing really well, or emphasize when you're interviewing? And what are some of the things, weaknesses that we need to hone in on and further develop? The second is identifying and addressing those skill gaps. So knowing where you need to improve as a CSM. And the third and final one is identifying and leveraging your strengths. So what am I excelling in and mastering? And where are the areas where I'm a little bit weaker on, but I can upskill myself with the right training or coaching or mentoring? So let's talk about the benefits of the customer success competency model and the benefits of using it. So first, it does help improve the hiring process through its entirety. So from creating that job description all the way through selecting those final candidates. Using this, it's called a competency-based job profile, but it helps to make targeting and evaluating your candidates easier and more effective. It also standardizes the process and criteria that you're using from end to end to be consistent. And then hopefully, ideally, it's saving you a lot of time and money. The second benefit is addressing skill gaps. So what are the knowledge-based performance issues that my team may have that are now easier to spot because I'm seeing those 18 skills? And then when you know those 5 disciplines and you know those 18 key skills, you can see what the gaps are. And then you can develop and have professional development for those to close out those skill gaps. The next is defining role and responsibility. So we talked about having that well-defined job description and having a job profile for the candidate. So managers can set expectations for all of their teams on what's expected in that IC or senior IC or leadership role. And it also helps make evaluating their performance clear, and you're setting clear expectations across the team. So in summary, you are more than welcome to download that customer success competency model. Again, it's 175 pages. It's very, very thorough, directly on our website. It's successcoaching.co, and you can go under resources, CS competency model. Highly recommend to do it over the weekend or on some downtime or a professional development hour to see where you are, where you need to go. So hopefully after this, we went quickly, but you've learned what the customer success model is. You've learned how to use it, and you understand the benefits of it. And with that, I am happy to open it up for questions.
All right, Angelika, thanks so much for walking through that. Some great stuff. I maybe have just one quick question for you. If you're a frontline CSM and you look at this excellent competency model, where do you start? Where's the best place to start if you just kind of break it down into several pieces? Can you hear me?
Yes, you sound great.
Sorry, I don't know if you heard that question. If you're a frontline CSM and you take your amazing competency model, where's the best place to start? If you just to break it down, where would I start?
Sure, you can do the low-hanging fruit and analyze how am I performing under the first discipline of teamwork and people, and am I mastering the skills within teamwork and people? So you can break out and take it one discipline at a time, maybe, and the low-hanging fruit would be the one that you think you've mastered, to really say, yes, I'm scoring a 5 out of 5 on all of these skills. And then work your way through the next discipline. Let's say it's entrepreneurship and strategy, looking at those skills within and say, how am I performing 1 through 5 on those skills?
Okay, great. And is this do you normally see your customers, your clients work in tandem with their managers through this as part of their career progression and professional development?
Yes, this is, I would say 50% of the teams are doing it at the time of their annual performance review or quarterly performance review or at 360. But we are also finding that some individuals want to take it upon themselves and say, hey, I really want to get promoted to that senior CSM role or into the leadership role. What are the expected skills of that role? And this is where I think I'm doing really well, but this is where I want to go. And now I know what to focus on for that career development within that role.
Okay, great. Thank you.
It's split in half.
Yeah, that makes sense. This may be, sorry, this question on the fly, but there's been a lot of throughout the day, a lot of topics of various skill sets for CSMs to improve their their tool set of skills and resources. What do you think is the most underrated? Or where do you think that CSM should really focus, like the underdeveloped skill set that CSMs might have?
Sure, I'm probably biased because in all of the tech companies I've worked with, it's always been about growth for upsells, expansions, retention. But I think honing in on commercial acumen, understanding negotiation fundamentals, being able to have commercial conversations with your customers and feeling comfortable doing so, that a renewal is coming up and these are the renewal options, and being able to negotiate them and showing them the value of those options. I think a lot of CSMs focus on the relationship aspect, and that's why they're in these roles and they excel in it. Yeah. But it's also building out that commercial skill set.
I love that. Going all the way back to the first keynote after Christie with James, where he talked about that commercial confidence. I'm with you as well. So I appreciate that. Maybe tell us a little bit more about Success Coaching. I'm a big fan. I think everybody knows they're a great partner of ours. Maybe tell us a little bit more about it. I think it's one of the best ways or best resources and partners out there for CSMs and leaders to develop their skills, to have learning and training and education. Maybe give us a little bit more insights about, if I'm a frontline CSM, what are the options that Success Coaching offers you as a frontline CSM?
Well, Dave, you know that we naturally love this question. So we developed a 60-course curriculum that's available on demand for levels 1 through level 5, where we teach in level 1, it's the fundamentals of being a customer success manager. So really, what are the foundations? So we're teaching the CS concepts, customer empathy with thinking like a customer, how to deliver success plans and business reviews, teaching about metrics, and it's really the foundations. And we've seen organizations like VMware and Red Hat and NetApp and GE and IBM and all these great companies where they're standardizing customer success training. So whether the CSM is in EMEA or Nordics, APAC, here in North America, they're all playing from the same, they all have the singing from the same music sheet and playing from the same playing field. And then our level 2 program, it's 12 courses, goes into the growth of the account. So it's from the lens of, as a CSM, how do I grow and expand and renew my book of business and my account portfolio? So we're teaching things like how to set objectives and how to increase upsells and how do I communicate effectively with sales and drive and manage my retention. And then you can look at this full curriculum on our website, but it's a very robust 60 courses on everything you need to be a high-performing CSM or to get into the customer success function, and then ideally to advance your career and upskill. Okay, great.
Angelika, tell us one more time the URL. It's successcoaching.co, is that right?
It is. You got it, Dave.
All right.
So not com, but co.
All right. Thank you so much, Angelika. This has been an awesome session. We're grateful for our friends at Success Coaching for the great sponsorship, the great partnership, and highly recommend all of you go to successcoaching.co. Check out the content, their materials. Excellent way to up-level your game and improve from a professional development. And with that, we are going to take a 25-minute lunch break. So Go and grab your lunch. Take a breather. Exhale a little bit because we've got a few more panel discussions later for this afternoon. Just make sure to watch the clock and be back ready to go at the top of the hour. So with that, enjoy your break. We'll be back in a bit.